Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on.
What'd you say?
Here we go. I was trying to send you something, and I'm so upset because Discord was like, no, the file is too big. And then Gmail was like, no, your attachment is too large. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I got the email. Our little timer's going. I today am working on Storm's Heir.
Oh, I need to go let the peoples know that we are live.
What'd you say?
I said I need to go let the peoples know that we are live.
Yes. They don't know. They don't know, Sam.
No. Oh,
I
God,
would post it, but I can't post on the YouTube feed channel.
No, you cannot.
I don't have that permission. I think I've planned out what I fixed. I think it'll work.
Why did it not auto post? It auto posted on the YouTube feed.
Yeah, earlier.
It only doesn't post you on the YouTube feed.
Yes.
It's okay, one day when we merge and become the Venn diagram. I feel okay tagging the pop-up stream people in troublemakers for our Wednesday ones since the time fluctuates. I don't for Monday streams though, because I'm like, it's not a pop-up.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's just late. Or not late, but it's vaguely on Mondays. No, today's Wednesday. It's vaguely on Wednesday. It's WIP Wednesday. Now that Rye has wings and it's like he's had whatever. Now that the cat's out of bag in this to everyone that Rye has wings. I'm fighting the urge to have him there's only like one fight left in the book. And this is it. And versus humans, fighting the urge to just not have him pick up people and drop them. Because he's already doing it to one person. But I'm like, it's a really effective way of killing people. So I'm like, I kind of just want to. What is that noise?
Oh, okay. So I have quite possibly, I've had this for a long ass time, but I finally set it up to use. It's quite possibly one of the most obnoxious chargers ever.
Obnoxious what?
Chargers.
Oh, I've seen this.
You see this?
Oh, no, you're hidden. There you are. Yes, I have seen it.
And I plugged it in. Although, let me tell you, so every time I set my phone on it, it will do that.
Honestly,
but I need to get a longer cord for it and also plug it into a fast charger because the way I have it set up right now, it charges so slow.
But it's better than not charging at all.
It is.
So.
And I like that it just sits there and the little lights stay lit up for a while. So I'm like, I feel fancy.
You're like, this is for the vibes, not for the actual charging of the phone.
Right now, that's all it's here for, the vibes.
And that's valid.
I couldn't actually use it with my old phone because I had the thing, the pop-it socket thing.
Yes.
But I can use it now because I don't have one.
Hi. Girlfriend's doing laps. She's been laying on the sun all day, but now the sun has moved over far enough in the window that it's on the pillows where they're piled up, because I specifically moved them out of the way so that she has a better sun pool. But now they're to where I moved the pillows out of the way too. But I'm not gonna keep shifting them. I'm her servant, but There has to be a line. There has to be a line.
It does. Riju breaks Chris's heart every morning he goes to bed because he just wants to cuddle with her, but she just goes under the blanket and cuddles with me instead. But I'm like, you don't let her lay against your legs once you're actually asleep. And he's like, what am I supposed to do about that? And I'm like, I don't know. All right, so you're going to be working on your project, and I'm got to get my shit together.
Yeah, you do. Generally. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
So
Hi. Go ahead.
I was all over the place as I was trying to remember what I had planned because I had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
It was just thrown off a little bit. I have to help child with homework,
Mm-hmm.
but child came in here and was all like, "I haven't made my dinner yet," and I'm like,
I can't do homework. Go make dinner.
so I let child go make dinner, and then I was like, so
It's not really dinner.
I slowly pulled up. Um, I pulled up Sweetest Secret and I got set up to work on it and everything so that I can work on it slowly.
Yeah.
Because I'm at a part where it's all like I have to expand on a thing and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I know how to do this. I bake. I make fillings. I make fruit fillings. I know
Yeah.
how to do these things. But my brain is like, we have in fact never created a filling via fruit in our lives. We don't even know what fruit are. So I was like, I assume it's in part because I'm just out of it and I'm waiting in case my child needs help. So I started doing, like, I checked my emails and I did some other tasky things while I'm thinking about the fillings. And then I said, oh, you know what? I have a video open in a tab for writing research, and it's the messy politics of enemies to lovers. And I enjoyed this woman's video on dark romance, so I was like, tell me of these messy politics of enemies to lovers. She got my side eye early in the video when she spoke of Romeo and Juliet, but she didn't call it a romance, so I was like, I will allow it. And she like moved on very quickly. It was great because at one point she's talking about Gilgamesh and like
Mm-hmm.
the Macedonian story of Gilgamesh, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, she's pulling out ancient like writing references.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm in love with her. And then she she started talking about how Gilgamesh and I forgot the other guy's name was
Because
how like
you're gay.
they're yeah, it was a little gay. And
Oh
then
yeah.
don't tell me it's not one of the original boy loves. And then she goes, oh, they're gonna take away my degree. I was like,
I worked on Storm's Heir. I going back and adding in another scene, fleshing out my mercenaries. And then the entire fucking time I had a menace bothering me. She kept jumping up. At one point, she literally, I'm typing, in the middle of typing, she just sits on my wrists. Because I'm not paying attention to her. And it's just so recently, she's been hanging out on my desk and but like not on the side of my desk. And if I like put a hoodie or something for her to lay on, because my desk is really big, she won't pay any attention to it. So just her getting up, coming over, nuzzling my mic, and then leaving over and over again. But I wrote. Let's see, how much did I write?
while you're doing that, I think that like my writing analysis videos for the next 80 years is just going to be this woman until I run out. I just looked at her thing and it's like popular videos. Why are there so many Confederate vampires? Which is a question I also ask. I'm like, why? Why specifically Confederate vampires? So I'm really interested in her take on that because I get really excited when other people notice these things. Like, to be clear, I don't sit there and think, why am I the only one to notice such trends? It's more of a
like, oh, this
secondary.
this is a trend that is happening, not just like
Yeah, it's more a secondary validation thing where it's like, oh, you noticed too? Oh, it's not just me.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Then there's a separate worries, darling. I don't know what that is. But then it's like, I kissed a girl, the messy legacy of queer bait hit, which I'm like, ooh, into that. And why we fall for monsters. And like already, because 2 videos of hers I've watched are the dark romance, which touched on the history of monster romances a little bit, and enemies to lovers, which she also spoke a little bit about that for it. I'm all like, oh, I need this woman's videos in my life.
I started listening to Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, last night.
Love that one.
As I was falling asleep. And so I was like, my body calmed down enough where I paused it and went to sleep, and then I had vampire dreams, which I'm okay with. But for some reason, in the very beginning of it, it starts giving me a synopsis of the story, and
that was very common back then.
I'm like, no, don't do this, because they're like, and then this happens, and I'm like, well, that's something. I don't even remember what it was, which I'm glad.
Is that yeah? That used to be. Oh, that used to be the standard, which is part of why, like,
it was definitely like a modern thing, like a modern person writing an introduction to the Dracula, and I'm like, no.
Then I guess I don't know. The audiobook I listened to, I don't think did that. So,
but
I thought you meant like a character monologued, and I just forgot about them. Because in Shakespeare plays, they used to do that.
Yeah, no, fully in introduction, someone started talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula influence on vampire media. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that shit should go at the back of the book, not the front.
And then they're like, because in this story, it's about, and then just starts like giving the synopsis, including like twists and turns. And I'm like, hey, no, what?
That's gotta be like a collector or an anniversary edition.
Yeah.
So that they like assume you already know the story. That is the only way that can be justified.
I was like, no, I can't pick this up in the library. I just want to listen. But yeah.
I would like to The House of Hunger. I finished it last night. I told you it was very sapphic, and I was questioning the vampire-y of it. There is a little like hint toward the end as to whether or not it's supernatural, but regardless of whether or not they are supernatural vampires, it is an excellent vampire book. It's got a great gothic atmosphere. It's got all of the like traditional vampire vibes, which means it's like dark and dangerous and erotic, which that's vampire stories.
Yeah.
So I was like, regardless of whether or not they are supernatural vampires, which is never like 100% confirmed. Still a great vampire read. Highly recommend. Has a happy ending. Is not a romance. Just throwing that out there.
Okay. Interesting.
Lots of warning for needles and bleeding.
Yeah. Well, I'm not as bothered by that as you are. But thank you for
the bleeding didn't bother me. It was the needles.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, my vampire story I was just thinking about recently, which is why I'm listening to Dracula. But I don't know when I'll actually write that story, but it's there. Part of me is like, oh, should I try and write it as a script? And I'm like, I don't think so. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
Write it as a journal.
A journal?
Why not?
I mean, if that's the style in which it wouldn't work. But taking inspiration from the original. But yeah, so I was just thinking about that recently. I was thinking about a different. Oh, my mermaid.
Wait, taking inspirations from the original what?
From the Dracula one, because it's written in like letters or a journal entries.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, Interview with a Vampire is written like that. You know what? A lot of vampire stories are written like a journal. Now that I think about it.
They're
'Cause,
probably inspired by Bram Stoker's.
I mean, that's a high possibility. It could have also could be a mix where he influenced the genre so deeply that is a thing. Because so as you know, I read Delicious Monsters and
Yeah.
I loved it so much and I thought the kids would really like it, but my husband and I decided it's a little too much for our youngest right now.
Mm-hmm.
One of the very few times that we've had to, be like, no. Um, but she was like really hyped up on reading a like horror novel or something, and I was like, you know what would be I gave her In the Forest of the Night to read because I read it when I was about her age,
Yeah.
and she has been very into it. And that is also like it's not written like a journal, but it's first person, and there's the now timeline and then the 1700s timeline. So
Mm.
I was like, even when they're not like journal ish, they're still very autobiographical. Like vampire novels are so memoirish. I'm like, you know what? A lot of things are making sense about my preferences in reading now.
I think there's a level of intimacy with that kind of storytelling.
But how
Um,
did you do that sprint? You're over here. How did you do that sprint?
like I said, I did like 330, 350 words. I'm trying to flesh out these mercenaries, but Ryan and Jason are sneaking around, so it ends up being them listening to conversations as they're like sneaking by, and I'm like hoping it's not repetitive. Hi. But that's later CB's problem. Um, now CB is going to write a little bit. Also, the fact that they're interacting with these mercenaries and there's absolutely like no mention of Brunhilde or Winifred, so that's why I'm adding this scene in for because I'm like, I want some sort of like connection there, and there's not really another chance for that to come up because they're not having a conversation with the mercenaries and being like, hey, so my mom and I'm like, no, they have things to do.
I'm so fucking out of it. I forgot because of the way you changed your tone. I forgot you were Rye talking about his mom, and I thought, or Jason. Either way, I thought
Right.
you were about to share something really sad about your mom. I was like, oh shit, what did I miss?
No,
I thought we were talking about writing. And I'm like, oh wait, it all fell into place.
right.
Can
And like
I be trusted to look up fillings right now?
and the fact that like these are the people that stole him from his family, and I'm like, I feel like there should be a more emotional things happening here, but there's not really the time for an emotional beat, or like I'm not sure how to work it in.
That could be done later.
Yeah. So
Because a lot of people, uh, myself included, often don't feel the impact immediately. So.
oh yeah. He's a suppress my emotions and I'll deal with it later kind of guy.
It's me, Ryo.
And then Jason is suppress my emotions and I'll never deal with it. He's like,
that's my husband.
so yeah, I'm writing that and then go back and I think I'm gonna have to move what I've written the past like 2 days to the cut for time graveyard, which is what I refer to my like scenes or paragraphs and stuff that I have to completely cut, but I like. Or if I want to take something from it later, but I want to store it somewhere rather than just deleting it. So I think I might take this whole thing or take like a large chunk of words and put it in there. And that's the end of our break sprint. Ta-da!
Woohoo! How likely how close are you to finishing this your draft now? I'm going.
Still like 20,000 words. I think. I will finish this month, but it definitely it's still gonna be I don't.
So not this stream.
Fuck no. No. I
waited for the ads.
I have they have to have sex. Oh, they don't have to, but they're gonna. I'm worried that my sex scene doesn't have emotional relevance to the story because it doesn't need to happen, but I feel like they should.
Okay, so before I hit play, my wild take is whenever somebody is like, if your sex scene does not serve a like story purpose or an emotional beat, then you shouldn't have it. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, sex scenes are not my jam, but I know a lot of readers and stuff who just enjoy the scene, and like, regardless of whether or not you need it, it's still like, oh my god, I wish my brain worked because I have such a good way to explain it, but it's like it's an emotional connecting scene a lot of times, right? It serves a purpose to like connect or bond the characters. So even if it doesn't have like a plot purpose, that doesn't mean it serves
For
no
mine,
purpose,
it's
right?
the like third to last scene in the book right now. Like it's more of a they're together emotionally and everything, and they've been together physically a little, but it's a kind of like, I guess it's not a, oh, we're this develops our relationship, but is our relationship and trust has developed to a point between us, we're going to kind of celebrate it by having sex.
Yeah, it's a payoff. That's what it is.
It's the payoff.
It's
It's not the actual development of story. Like, it could be removed from the story and it would feel kind of like and they're together happily ever. Okay. But it's like, no, you're like,
some people like,
come on, let them talk.
Also, like I said, I'm happy with the fade to black, but there are a lot of people who are like, nah,
yeah.
spice.
And it's going to be a sex scene. I don't think it'll be a super long sex scene, maybe, probably, but I kind of thinking about, I know, one more statement and then we can go into the sprint, but I kind of am thinking about, with like having a different couple every book, that we have a little like extra at the end of every book that is like a chapter of the previous couples, of what they're up to.
Oh, that would be
so it'll be like a
cute.
Jason and Rye chapter, and the next
Usually-
one, and the next one after that will be a Jason and Rye and the chapter, and then a blah 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 chapter. Because they're going to be showing up in different people in each other's stories. Like, Jason and Rye are kind of, Jason is the foundation of the whole like thing happening. So Jason and Rye are going to be in everything, but it's like not their story anymore. Even though overall, technically, I guess they'd be the main characters of the series, but not really. I don't know. It's complicated, but I want to have them come back again, because I enjoy a good POV thing, and I think it'll be weird to not have like any emotional check-ins with them for the rest of the series. So I want to do like just little ones. So yeah. Or maybe like even at the halfway point of books. Sorry.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hello there, Emma. You're joining us right at a sprint, so. Hello. One, two, three. I got like 3 paragraphs. I'm at the end of page 2 now.
I didn't even put on music or anything that's Sprint. I just wrote. I was like, I just paused my music and I'm like, nope, fully just in my head right now.
That's good though. I spent so much time trying to figure out how to phrase this one sentence. It took up most of my time. I'm revising though. You're drafting.
But I sat there for so long.
But yeah, that's the issue.
I honestly have no idea where I fucking stopped off on that one. So I'm gonna say it's around 150 words. What did I spend that sprint doing? I just
that sentence.
I spent so long trying to figure out. It's like 2 people that know each other, and I'm trying to get so much familiarity, like in these couple sentences. Like these people have known each other for like 30 years, and are discussing a different character, and are discussing people they knew in the past. And I'm trying to have it like this is information given to you about the world and about like all this stuff without being like, ah, yes, my sister, Yvain, who you know from our time in the past together. Like not explaining the relationship, but having it be like the explained. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna have to write a fucking like one shot that you get if you like pre-order the book about my fucked up lesbians or something. Because I've made this whole fucking lesbian love triangle that does not get to be shown at all on page. And honestly, maybe I'll write like a short story, 10,000 words about the Azure Talon before everything went wrong. And it can be like Wynne and Brunhilde being together, and then Yvain being in love with her teacher, Wynne, and then fucking Uther being, I can't say that word on stream, awesome, suave, starts with a C, and goes auntie. And this guy that is Yvain's brother, who I think is named Tivian, because I named a couple of the mercenaries and then they like earlier in the book, but I just like randomly threw a name in, so I'm like, oh, I get to connect these names to people, but I do have to change them around a little because I think I wrote earlier that Tivian was the one that visits Wynne, and I'm like, no, it's Yvain, who I also want to name Yavanna, but I think that's a goddess from something.
I would have to see how it is spelled because it does not sound familiar.
Lord of the Rings.
Well, there you go.
The music of is she a fucking... It is a Slavic name. It's not just Lord of the Rings, but it is Lord of the Rings.
Oh, well, that's good. Just any name any name that Tolkien took from another culture. I'm like, no, it's free game, motherfucker. I don't care.
I'm not gonna be using Frodo or anything, but plus I don't know if only super nerds would be like, super nerds as myself literally recognized it, so I'm not throwing shots here at anyone, would be like, hey. Also, I literally almost keep every time I type her name almost right. Yavanna, I don't know. It's YV, and then right now I have YVA.
Okay, so the name Frodo is derived from the Old English name Froda.
Yes. I did know that Tolkien took... Frodo was originally named Bingo, which is... okay. A dog. But I watched this video and was like, how to name characters, and they brought up Sherlock Holmes and Frodo, but they spent half the video describing how the writers came up with those names and what the original names were, and then the second half of the video was like, have it sound like your character's personality. And I'm like, okay, that's it? That was your advice? Which I watched quite a few how to name character videos that day, and all of them were like, find a name that feels right. And I'm like, Yeah. Yes.
Should I make a how to name
I would
video?
love for you to make a how to name video.
Or let's do a how to name Let's Talk. I could.
You
Make
verse
that.
editing.
Well, well, see, the how to like name a character, as much as my nonchalant attitude about it comes from, my attitude is mostly nonchalant because I don't find naming things difficult, so I don't struggle, so I act like I don't care. But as you know, I am really big into language, linguistics, their origins, their histories. One could say the etymology. Therefore, naming things is part of that. So I know an awful lot about how a lot of things got their names historically, or why different cultures named different things. As you know, I was trying to name a plant and I looked up the etymology of mussel, and then I was like, oh, plants are often named for their uses or what they
I have a
look like.
question.
So I could actually I could make a cohesive discussion that I could hope people would find.
Yes, I don't know if anyone would disagree with you though, for like a discussion.
Oh, I know one person who would disagree with me. One very vocal person who makes it sound as if I cannot
I don't
name
know who on
anything at
stream
all.
would disagree with you.
Oh, well, I wasn't thinking of anyone on stream. Well, actually, someone on stream threw shade at my naming just last week, so I can think
throwing
of someone
shade
on stream.
versus disagreeing are two different things. I was speaking of etymology. Do you think it'd be if the country of throne, Throan, throne, and someone has a accent from that place, would it be a thronic accent or a throne accent?
It depends on the culture.
Okay. So I made this country up.
So, yes, therefore, technically, you could just pick. There is no. If you. This is not the Scandinavian.
This is the Scandinavian
culture. Oh, then I would look up how Iceland conjugates their things. Because, like, I know that, like, we say Japanese, but in Japan, if I remember correctly, they don't even refer to their Nippon.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's Nipponese.
I'm doing it for, like, for Chiron, which is my word for dragon. The humans refer to it as draconic, but it would be Chironic. But they just call it draconic because Chiron is the word for dragon in draconic. Because I'm taking it from like when I learned German in middle school and I found out like Deutsch was the word for German in German. I was like, whoa, this is so weird. Why don't we
you could use your knowledge for German for that, because German and the Scandinavian languages are all Germanic. So
yeah.
So like, how would German go from America to American?
It'd be English with like English, basically LISH or LISCH makes like referring to the language.
So you could just do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like it's totally completely up to me. I'm referring to the people of Throne as the thrones. Like that's like they're not doing the Thronians or anything like that.
Oh well, if they're the thrones, then perhaps the thrones speak throne. Maybe they just don't add things.
Yeah, I kind of liking that for them. Not gonna lie.
like maybe they just don't add things at the end of their thing.
Kind of fits their vibe. But I'm like, I keep making random side characters have Throne, like be from Throne or have like be thrown. I want to say Thronic, but
just say the throne accent. And
yeah.
The accent of throne, if you
But I
want
was like, I need to name my other countries so I can say that people have those accents as well, rather than just be like, this person has a throne accent. Look, they have an accent. It's from Throne.
This is a side note, but I would like to say that 3 things I named very seriously were my children, and no one has ever told me they have bad names. So, and I have some really asshole-ish relatives who would let me know.
I'm glad you named your actual children seriously. That is
I'm just saying, I'm good at naming things.
I was saying that I think a video would be, I don't know.
I know.
Yeah, cleaner, more like, because I feel like whoever is your Let's Talk guest or host, if it was me, I'm not sure, yeah, would just be like, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, that's a good point. The whole time.
Oh, well,
like,
the thing is, okay, so the thing, Let's Talks are not a debate, it's a discussion. So, like, for example, when Jess and I did the vampire discussion, like, we're both huge vampire buffs. Like, she came into the vampire discussion, and I realized that we were, in fact, vampiric soulmates because she started talking about the Babylonian lily. I know you were there. I'm giving it as an example. So she started talking about the Babylonian, like, vampire thing, and so it's just, you know, you feed back and forth. So
yeah,
you can come at it with questions, you can come at it with ideas. Either way, it's a discussion. So not a debate. We don't have to disagree.
Fine.
I can invite Fox, who names things purely off vibe. I'm 90% certain. His vibes just have a laundry list of requirements.
I'm sorry. I've clicked to my document to change Thronic to Throne.
No, you can't work. We got 2.5 minutes.
And I just saw God's Damn, like with the S in the middle of it, and I was like, this is so. I don't even have set gods in this world.
Oh, let me tell you, I picked my children up from school and I could not see because of the sun. And somebody said something about this. I think it was you in a call. You were like, the sun is the devil. And I was like, begone, Satan. And my oldest goes, yes, the sun is Satan and he should leave. And then my middle one goes, yeah, God's damn the sun. And my oldest just burst out laughing and was like, that's a good one.
You really just created three little beings.
I love them so much.
I know.
They're so sassy. Well, let me tell you, my oldest one came in here earlier, right? And I looked at him and I was like, okay, I need you to get my drugs. And he just full body went like stooge comedy. He like stops and he looks at me and he goes, the drugs? And I'm like, yeah, my drugs. And he goes, I thought we don't do drugs. And I was like, my prescription drugs. And he goes, oh, those ones are okay. And the way he talks sometimes, he sounds like he's perpetually high. And he gets that from Chris, because that's like let me tell you, it's not as much now, but when we were like younger, everybody thought he was stoned all of the time. And it's like, no, he's just that chill.
It's just how he is. I put my I went to the like a smoothie shop the other day, and I was putting my ADHD meds, some Tylenol in a smaller bag, and I grabbed a little bag that was holding like parts that comes with when you like get it. It was probably came with a cat tower. And I was like, this, and then I had just a singular like ADHD pill in it, which is like a half one color, half the other capsule. And I'm like,
you wanna have a good time?
It's guys, the internet, it is it says
ibuprofen.
There's I2 on it. It's ibuprofen.
Yeah, it's very
I'm like, oh no, it looks like ecstasy or something. from my knowledge coming from TV shows.
A little different, but yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it moved on its own. I was like,
no, I did it. It sensed you. It sensed our change in discussion. It was like, you're talking about drugs. It's time to stop. Okay, I'm gonna write not about drugs.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom first, and then the child has come in for homework. Hello. Give me
Hi.
one.
Hey, RP's here. Hi, RP.
I'm going to whine a little bit for a second.
Okay.
I'm like, started WIP Wednesday so I could dedicate 3 hours just to my writing or to my current project. It was just supposed to be me 3 hours, which is why it took place from 1 to 4, because that would give me enough time to be up and recovered from bad migraine morning-ish. And then it was, but then things happened and we had to make it late at night. And then I was like, I had to help children with homework. So we're like, no, wait, let's make it early in the day again. But now I'm like, I can't do that because the buses are late. So I have to physically, I either leave in the middle of the street.
Is there...
Trying to be an author while raising children is hard.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
the math assignment today was great, though, because the math assignment we were doing today was about sales percentages. I got mad at one of the problems, though, because it was like, here's a grocery list of everything the person bought at the store. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then my son asked me about the tax. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, what about the items that aren't taxed? And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, some of the items aren't taxed. I was like, where do they think we are? Kentucky? Is the food not taxed? And he goes, yeah, the food's not taxed. And I'm like, living that good life in this fictional setting. So,
what about...
But I did get one sentence revised. So now my child is in the other room because he needs a computer for the next homework. So he's going to do it on Chris's computer and then return to me.
I just muted myself.
I was about to say, why'd you mute yourself?
I dropped sticky notes on my keyboard, that's why. So if we can't do 1 to 4... No, 1... I'm just trying to get it.
No, 5 to 8 is going to be the best that we got for now.
Okay. We can't move it like an hour in a direction and that help, or...
No.
Okay.
What would help is when my child is all like, yeah, I want to do my homework at 5, for him to not be like, hey, I want to make dinner and then make something in the oven that takes about an hour and a half to make.
That would be okay. No. You can grab a snack now, but we're doing your homework now.
Yeah, I think no, they need food. You need brain power.
That's why I said snack.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Have some peanut butter on apple.
No, I'm going to just implement that on Wednesdays. He either has to eat dinner early or he has to make something not in the oven.
I think
like a quick dinner.
So. As a childless person, I think the way you're parenting your kids is good. I don't have a frame of reference here.
You're good. You're good. Today he made bacon wrapped chicken. So.
I'm completely changing topics. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I live in Los Angeles, as you know, and I love the fall. Fall and winter are my favorite months. Those months do not exist, or seasons. Seasons do not exist in Los Angeles. September and October are like the hottest parts of the year here in LA. I'm joking mostly. But my parents were like, you should try and like get a pumpkin, carve a pumpkin, try and like be the most fall you can to get that enjoyment. So today at the store, I bought stuff to make pumpkin bread. I got some pumpkin spice just to add to stuff. I got I think I just got some cinnamon sticks for the thing that you've mentioned before. And then I got some apple cider. And then I texted my friend, be like, well, first I Googled, are there pumpkin patches near Los Angeles? Turns out there are. We drive like an hour, but it's closer than I thought there was going to be. So I'm making plans with a friend to go to a pumpkin patch. And I'm like, okay, I can, because last year when I was here for school for Halloween, all of a sudden it was Halloween. And then it was Thanksgiving, and then it was Christmas. And I was like, where's the buildup? Where are the leaves? There are no leaves, or there are leaves, but they don't change color because they don't need to. Sorry. But
okay.
so I'm trying to be more fall themed. I want to like watch some fall movies. I haven't watched a lot of like the classic Halloween movies.
We could watch them.
Yeah. So
It's
anyway,
a 50-50 as to whether I've seen it really.
that's my update on life. I don't know what popped into this. I think it just randomly popped into my head. But yeah. So
real quick, I repeat, this wouldn't do anything.
yeah.
The children go to school Monday through Friday, and my Saturdays and Sundays are reserved for family. So it's okay. It's all just part of the thing. Y'all remember that it's been a year now. Last August, when I saw how things were changing because the boys were in middle school and stuff, and I was like, it's just part of the writing being treated as a hobby or a career on the back burner for the moment. I have gotten some work done. I have gotten almost half a page, which is more than I thought. And in all honesty, what's hindering me more right now isn't the child. Their homework took like 20 minutes. That was it. It's the micro. It's the fact that my brain just does not want a brain. So that's why I didn't like living in California.
I'm being made
It's
fun
either
of.
very hot in summer or very cold in winter, depending on where you're at.
It's not very cold in winter. I would love some cold in winter. I would really love some cold in winter. Laura and I don't know if I talked about this on stream, but Laura Nettles and I went to this author talk at the Red Bodice. Fuck off. Look. I was like, because I thought I said Lauren, and I'm like, that's not right. But I think I just said Laura 3 times.
You said Laura, like, you said it 3 times, and then you went Laura Nettles. So.
Just in case you guys didn't know who I was talking about. So Laura and I went to an author talk at the Rit Bodice for Logan Carley, Dream by the Shadows. I haven't read it yet. It's on my shelf. It's assigned. But she talked about like her sitting and like having an open window. Like what was the question was like, what's your ideal way to write? She's like, I want the house empty because she has kids, but like, and a husband. So like them all to be out. The house is empty, the window propped open, the colors of the leaves in her like office. She loves antiquing. And like it'd be like a fall day and she'd have a warm drink and I'm like sitting there like claws like digging into my own thighs being like, I want this. But I can't prop open a window because last time when I was having the window often I ended up like coughing up black sludge for like a week and a half. So I have a window closed. And
you know, it's funny. A lot of people make fun of the Midwest for existing. However, the atmosphere of the Midwest is what authors like. A lot of authors idealize. It's like the perfect writing conditions. It's the Midwest. Fresh air, nice, like that crisp, temperate autumn.
Mm-hmm.
Feels.
I got that, yeah, on the East Coast as well, the Northeast.
Yeah. the Northeast and the Midwest kind of slowly merge together.
Yeah. There's like the mountains that make weather. But yeah, so anyways, I was gonna make hot chocolate for the stream, but I forgot to get a jug of milk when I went grocery shopping. And I only have a little bit of milk left, and that's devoted to tea or if I eat something spicy. So I'll get some like tomorrow or something. But
I still have your butter pecan vodka in my desk.
I was just thinking of that recently.
Like it's there. It's gonna be hella strong by the time you drink it.
Yeah, I think I talked about. I keep buying like flavored alcohols, being like, this is interesting, but I don't drink often enough for the amount of alcohol I own. Like if you looked at my collection of alcohol, you'd think I was a heavy drinker, or not a heavy drinker, because it's all like liqueurs and like fun wines and stuff. But I don't really drink ever. But yeah, if I did, it all tastes very good, I'm guessing, from the stuff I have. So yeah.
Sorry, I was reading Fox, and for some reason my brain was just not processing what he was saying, so I was like having to focus harder and harder. I figured it out though. I was also thinking of how to phrase, if your bottles are not all empty, I'm not going to assume you're a heavy drinker, but more politely. But I didn't get there. So.
I didn't get that message. What?
No, I was thinking it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you were like, it would look like I'm a heavy drinker, and so my brain was going along the lines of, I mean, if you have a bunch of bottles that are mostly full or like not even half empty, then no, most people wouldn't assume you're a heavy drinker. It's when there's like lots of bottles and lots of empty bottles littered about everywhere. That's when people start making assumptions. And then I was trying to figure that out, and yeah.
The only bottle that's like drank at all really is the coconut rum, and that's because I've had it for a year, and most of that bottle was drank by roommates, and I said they could, or like guests or something, where I'm like, oh, I'll have half a glass of this light wine, and then I'll be like, what do you want? And then point to my selection of alcohols.
I want to be able to physically be able to get up and be social again, because apparently there's a local writers group in my city. And I'm like, excuse, what?
Yeah.
I learned about it through one of my trips to Books A Million. And I was like, hold on, how does one join this local writers group?
It's fun. I could join a writers group in person. There's definitely tons of them.
Yeah, in California, definitely.
But yeah.
But then you would be.
But then I'd have to go out and interact with
people. You'd have to go out, you'd have to socialize, and then your default existence wouldn't be sitting in the server.
Yeah, sitting in the server being like, here's every thought that comes into my mind. Please respond to me so I acknowledge that I exist and I'm not just a ghost drifting.
I feel so bad sometimes. Between you and Bella, you guys like post these really big things, and I'm like, yes, I will respond to those when my brain works.
Yeah.
A plot twist. My brain never works.
I feel bad when I'm doing sprints and it's just me like all day, every day doing sprints in the server.
No, look, I love that somebody
and I'm like, maybe I should like
go for it. Look, here's the thing: people can mute that. I have sometimes, especially if I'm working at a convention, I'll just like mute for 8 hours.
Okay, I was like, am I just annoying every single person in our server every time I do sprints in there? Because like I'm like, should I do sprints somewhere else? I don't know where else. No. When no one's like doing it with me, because I'm like, am I just being like, haha, I'm productive?
No, some people jump in and out with you.
Yes, they do, and I love when they do because it makes me feel like a real person.
Yeah, so that would so that wouldn't happen if you didn't do it. I am honestly mildly jealous because I want to, but as you know, I'm perpetually dying.
Yes.
So you have been dying less so.
I have. That's one thing LA has going for it.
All right,
It has other things. I'm just being a bitch about it.
we're going into our final sprint. Heyo.
He having he reflexes have his wing move out of the way.
Cool.
I was like, I don't want to deal with him getting shot.
That's
but
okay.
Also, like they wouldn't miss. So I'm like, and the smartest place for them, I guess, would be to shoot a wing.
Always shoot the flyer's wings.
Yep. So yeah, that's.
See?
Go ahead.
No, our RP says seeing you do sprints motivates him to actually work on his stuff. Oh. He says this every time you say you don't know. It's okay. Me and RP don't mind having the same variations of the same conversation every week.
Yeah.
And like I'm slowly fixing my sleep schedule again so that like I'm waking up, I say fixing, but I'm adjusting it to the one that I prefer, where I wake up, make breakfast for the kids, but then I actually want to get up after that, not like drift slowly back into slumber. So I was going to start this week, but then I was hit with a rather rough period, and I was like, nope, fuck it, I ain't existing until I'm done bleeding. So, which I think is very fair. I'm gonna try for the rest of this week to get up and then come in the garage den, and so I might do sprints with you, or at the very least body double and sit in the call. Next week, I just want to say this really quick, and then I'm going to ask about your progress, because you haven't gotten to talk about your book a lot today, and I would like for you to do that. But I'm on the last page. I was going to very quickly look up something, but then it wasn't a quick lookup, so that'll be, again, next week. I'm starting off with a task that I don't want to do right now. But I am getting through it, and I do like the improvements. Also, next week, you shall be solo or with a guest co-host.
Yeah.
Because Chris and I are going to celebrate our 15-year. So our anniversary is in July, but we will be leaving on Wednesday, and I might be able to join in on chat on the drive, but I also might not. Yeah, like, look, he does. It depends, because sometimes he doesn't like to talk while he's driving because he gets very anxious, especially driving through the mountains and stuff. So sometimes it is up to me to find something else to do, in which case I might try to pop in. But yeah, definitely don't expect me. It's not going to be my priority. So, but I might see how things were doing. But yeah, so I will be here for Monday stream, but not Wednesdays. Saturday, you and I have a stream to discuss Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation. Sunday is the Storytellers Hearth Weekend Relay announcements.
Yes.
So
announcements.
Yeah, I've got it all set. I've got the stream set up. I have to add the links and stuff later, but
cool. Right.
Thank you. 15 years.
You're old. Funny for my parents. I reached 106,000 words. 106,001 words, technically. I moved back into this fight scene, and the problem I struggled a lot with today is trying not to like horribly spoil the climax of the book, but there's a thing that, so a fight's happening, multiple fights are happening at the same time in 3 different areas. Rai finishes his fight and arrives at the main fight, and his arrival / finishing move, there's no way not everyone goes, I'm sorry, what the fuck was that? And like stops what they're doing and looks. I'm like, this is a really cool moment for Rai, and it would make everyone go, oh my god. Like there's no one that would just be like, ah, whatever, let me just keep doing my little thing. Like that's just that wouldn't happen. There is actually no. There is one character who has a head injury and is so focused on his task he does not notice. But
That's
then
kind of fair though.
yes. But then someone like taps his shoulder and he like turns and he's like, oh. And then says something that's really plot relevant.
Are you pulling from your experience with the concussion this summer for that character?
No. But shout out to Bored Dude, like BOARD, not BORED. Bored.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to like pry some planks away. And
I understood you meant the
yeah.
wooden board until you spelled it, and then my brain was just like,
yeah. And so that like happened, and I'm like, no, that would just kill the whole vibe of the fight. But now I've added in 2 characters who would see that. And even though this thing has happened, because everyone else is like, oh, we can't win now. Okay. Well, we'll just stop. We'll try a different approach. I'm 2 characters and I'm like, hi, you have a reason to not care even if you lose. Versus like a lot of these characters are like, I would rather run away in the face of probable defeat. And so I'm like, okay, I have those to reinstitute a fight, have that fight happen, which will break away some of the shock that everyone else is in. Have a discussion, have someone try. This was making no sense to anyone listening to me, but it helps my brain. Have everyone's broken out of their shock a little bit. Someone tries to be clever and evil. Rye just like listens to this person trying to be clever and evil, absolutely shocked. Because yes, this would be actually really convincing if he was who this person thought he was, but he's not. So he's just like, this is the lie you're going with. And then some cool stuff happens. And then the evil liar is evil, tries to massacre a bunch of people and Rye. And Rye gets angry. Because I was like, I need the escalation for Rye to get angry, to have his cool moment be worth it. Because I'm like, if this person's already like half surrendered, bringing in that level of violence is not okay. Like it doesn't work. But I'm like, if this person half surrenders, then comes back from that, and then is the worst, and then tries to massacre a bunch of people, we can meet that with a level of violence that is appropriate. But I'm like, it took me a while to like, fuck, did I like write myself into a hole? I considered taking out the really cool moment that draws everyone's attention, but I was like, I really want to keep it, and it would seem weird, or it's a good callback, and I don't want him to do anything else at this moment as of right now. So I ended up keeping it, and hopefully it is not repetitive or anything. So yeah, that's what I got done today.
Nice. Sounds like good progress. You're getting there, chunking away at it. Sorry, I'm looking at our pinned messages to see what I still need to, because as you know, if I'm busy or something, I pin, I'm like, oh, I need to read that. So I'm like, what did I go back and pin? There we go. I think I still need to read that one, so we'll leave that. I'm so proud. I'm gonna be like so excited when you finish this.
Aw, thank you. I'm definitely, as I'm nearing the end and thinking about draft 2, thinking about how much I'm going to need to do in draft 2, and being like, how much am I actually close to being finished with the book, or at least with drafting? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Because it's like the first time the way I wrote the books before were so out of order. RP, I'm jumping that up. It's going to be more than 120. Maybe 125 or 130. Literally, I know early in the stream I said 120, but then I'm at 106, and I'm like, maybe not.
They did a battle.
There's right about to be a whole lot of dialogue, and yeah, that's gonna
plot points wise, like you're at the climactic.
Yeah, one of the types of climaxes. I'm on chapter 21
of 23. Okay.
So yeah, my outline, I'm on page 22 of 25. Yeah.
Oh damn.
But one thing has already kind of had to change. Yeah. Yeah. My original outline, but a lot of my outline is not.
You have to go through and revise your outline.
Yeah, my outline's not super accurate right now because yeah, especially for the last couple of chapters. I have it all written down that I wrote on the whiteboard, and then wrote it from what I wrote on the whiteboard, but I have pictures of everything I wrote on the whiteboard because whiteboards are temporary.
Yeah, I agree, RP. I think that's kind of why, like, being like, well, I've done this many plot point, like, depending on how you outline, CB does chapters, so it's a lot easier. Saying she's on chapter 21 out of 23 to me gives a better idea of how tantalizingly close to the end you are than the word count, because the word count could be
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, I'm just going sentence by sentence in chapter 23. I was like, oh, these are the little paragraphs I wrote summarizing a scene. And then I got to chapter 23 and I'm like, I went write one line, enter, and I'm like, well, okay, that's not as effective. You're breaking the style. But yeah, it's close-ish, I think. I'm worried that chapter 20, 22 and 23 will end up being 23, 24, and 25. I don't think so, but that is a chance.
We'll see.
Actually, I don't think it will, but they might be chunky chapters. Or 23 will be chunky. I know that.
Look, the thing that I always reassure myself, because this happens a lot when I revise now, is that, for example, if I'm writing a chapter and it starts out, it's like 7 pages long, and then now I'm on page 3 of revising, and it's 9 pages long. You know what? I still revised 3 pages. That's 3 pages done. Doesn't matter how many get added. So, but yeah, you're still like so close.
Yes, and it's this like mounting anxiety, which I'm trying to like suppress. You said it was normal from what you heard. I'm glad, but also this sucks.
I can name 3, at least 4 people off the top of my head right now that through live streams or Discord chats or stuff where they were talking about getting to like right after the climax or getting to the climax, and then just the overwhelming anxiety that was coming with finishing a draft. And there have been like quite a lot of discussions and stuff about it, and I'm trying to remember some of the things they said, because it's like it's the idea that you've been working on this thing for so long and now it is about to come to an end, and so your experience with something, essentially your journey through drafting through draft 1 is about to end. And like that's so it's the regular like transitional anxiety of closing a door and opening another.
Yeah.
And then also the anxiety of like, I've put all this work, all this time, all this effort. what if no one likes it?
What if I don't like it, which would be the worst part?
Yeah, like what if I go back and I hate it's 130,000 words. What if I fucking hate 129,000 of those words?
Yeah.
So it's perfectly normal. You just gotta, get through it. I will say, from all the excerpts and everything I've read, I think it's great. I think it's a really solid foundational first draft.
Thank you.
There are some things that while reading it, I'm like, well, that could be revised or that could be said better. But this is a draft, so no need to point those out yet and everything. And the way you've some of the things you've asked about that I'm like, oh, it depends on execution. So far, from everything I've read, your executions have been perfectly fine.
Thank you.
So there's no red flag. I would have let you know if there was a red flag or anything up to this point. So I think just keep trusting yourself. And when you have those moments where you can't trust yourself, trust me and Fox's aggressive support. Fox doesn't know how to lie to spare feelings. That's not an ability.
And I appreciate that. I think part of my anxiety with it is when I finished Shadows, which was my book when I was a kid, I was happy with it. And like it was like, oh, I still need editing and everything, like my own editing. And then I was like, oh, I'm happy with this product I've created. And then years later, or a couple years later, but proportionally a lot of years later, when I popped and looked at it, and I was like, what? And I know I'm older now and I have more experience, and that's part of the progress, blah blah blah. But still, that memory is in the back of my mind, going like, what if you just hate all of this work and devotion you've done? And I know I won't, because I do like the story, but yeah. So that's a little insight into my brain. And when I wrote Act 1 of this as a script, and I turned it in for class, and then I went to transition it into a novel, and I was like, what the fuck was this script? This is not good. And I've rewritten, I think, the entire, what was the Act 1, which was like 30 pages of scripting, so it's like 10,000 words. I think I've completely rewritten that. I think it was like chapter 1 and 2, or chapter now 1 and 3, because Jason didn't have a point of view at that point. Yeah, which was a while ago now. But yeah. So it's just a lot is culminating, even though there's no like immediate results after finishing draft 1. Like it's not going to an editor or beta readers. I mean, it's going to critique partners, but it's not like I won't have another chance. But I'm like, it will, after I finish draft 1 and read through it, I'll have a better idea of how much work I have left to do.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea. And that's also kind of scary. The fact that I'm like, okay, I don't
think
what the next step is. I know what the next step is, but I don't know what that entails.
Yeah, I think expectations wise that there will need to be quite a bit of work, but I don't think there's going to be as much work as you think there is. I think that at least on a foundational level, which is the most important part. Yeah. I think on a foundational level, it'll be pretty safe.
Okay.
Like, I don't think there's anything big. There might be, and you've already, I think, talked about it, there may be some things that you have to go back in the beginning and start smoothing out, or
I know there's stuff I need to set up for
that's the word I was looking for, set up.
Or where I like started setting it up halfway through and literally just made a note to myself, like, this needs to be an idea beforehand.
I figured out what was wrong. I'm like, why is it not working?
And so I think, other than that, like, one thing, I think I described the history of Jason's mom like how she's related to the previous dynasty, which spent forever trying to remember the word dynasty. I'm like, the ancient China thing. I'm like, it's fucking dynasty, dumbass. Also, it's not just because I was like the monarchy, and I'm like, that's not right. I mean, it is, but it isn't. The dynasty.
You won't meet a girl like her every dynasty.
Like, I struggled with this for days.
I asked my dad what a dynasty was when the first time I watched Mulan, and my mother said a really long time.
Long time.
And my father was like, it depends.
Yeah, or it's not. There were a couple that were not.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and how she's related to the previous dynasty, and I fully spent like 2 paragraphs explaining it at one point in the book, and it's changed since then. That's just wrong.
That's just inaccurate information.
I was like, that makes, I mean, it's interesting, but it makes no sense in the context of how lineage works in my world. So I had to rewrite that, or I have to rewrite that at some point soon.
Yeah, I think now as far as like critique partners and stuff go, this is me throwing this out there. You can decide if you want to do this or not. You can, because you said you're comfortable with it, after your draft is finished, I can do a listen through, and then just tell you if I see anything like hugely glaring.
Yeah.
Or and then basically, or if I think any of the execution of anything is questionable.
Yeah.
But otherwise not do any like finer critiquing until after you go through and do all of your revisions. But if I do at least an initial listen through, then you can at least be reassured that it's like, oh no, it's not trash. It is good.
Yeah.
I do that to Fox all the time. I throw in documents and I'm like, read this. Tell me it's not trash. That's all I need from you.
75% sure that objectively, when I read it through, my thought after finishing it will be, this is trash. Even if it's not, even if an hour later I don't think that, but my first feeling is, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I've wasted years of college, 10 years of my life trying to be a writer, so much money, so much time, and this is what I produce. And then I'll like, I don't know, have a cup of tea and feel much better. But that will be my first thought.
We'll watch something gay to make you feel better.
Yeah. And then I'll be like, why can't I write this kind of stuff? I'm not even as good as this.
You're like, I want my BL to make people feel the way this BL made me feel.
What I need to do is find a really terrible book, Nudge Nudge Wink Wink, and read that right after I finish my own.
I got a list. I'll get you.
And be like, okay, even if I'm awful and I'm terrible, at least I'm not this bad.
We could ask Cody. He's like known for finding the worst books. It's so bad. His luck with novels is atrocious. I feel so bad for him. But we should go ahead and end it.
Okay.
But I assume, are you going to do more work in the server?
Let me see. My bed is calling me, but I think I'm going to get food and then do one more sprint because I'm at 10,600, or no, that's the wrong numbers that I said out loud. But I want to write at least 1,000 words. Yeah, I'm not at 1,000 words today.
Okay.
001. I'm at 725. So I'll do one sprint in the server after I get some food.
Okay.
Yeah. My foot fell asleep, so I'm gonna like curl up on the ground and scream as it slowly wakes back up. Then I'll get some food and do sprints on the server.
I have to go do more momming, and I might join you if my momming finishes in time. All right. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you when we see you.
Bye.